Good evening. You're watching the main news on HKIBC. I'm Chloe Feng. Here's a look at tonight's top stories. Xi Jinping stresses the importance of Hong Kong and pledges to make the military a Great Wall of Steel. Michelle Yeoh, who launched her acting career in Hong Kong, becomes the first Asian to win a Best Actress Oscar. And the fallout from the collapse of a U.S. bank touches Hong Kong. President Xi Jinping says Hong Kong's long-term prosperity and stability are inseparable from building a strong country. Speaking at the closing ceremony of the National People's Congress, Xi vowed to promote high-quality development and convert the military into a Great Wall of Steel. After 9 days, delegates gathered in Beijing for the closing ceremony of this year's session of the National People's Congress. President Xi Jinping entered the Great Hall of the People, accompanied by former Premier Li Keqiangs and the former third-ranking Politburo Standing Committee member Li Keqiangs. Hong Kong Chief Executive John Lee and his Macau counterpart Hou Yasen were present, as well as former SCR leader Leung Chun-ying. In his first speech after securing an unprecedented third term, Xi thanked the nearly 3,000 delegates for placing their trust in him. He said China's rejuvenation is unstoppable, and the country will promote high-quality development and improve education and technological self-reliance.
把人民军队建设成为有效维护国家主权、安全、发展利益的钢铁长城。
He vowed to turn the military into a great wall of steel to safeguard security and sovereignty. In his 15-minute speech, the president said the long-term prosperity and stability of Hong Kong and Macau are inseparable from building a strong country.
坚定不移贯彻一国两制、港人治港。
We must comprehensively, accurately, and firmly implement one country, two systems. Hong Kong people governing Hong Kong, Macau people governing Macau, as well as a high degree of autonomy, he said. She said Beijing supports the two SCRs in their bid to improve the economy and people's livelihood, and urged them to better integrate with national development. On Taiwan, he said, a complete reunification of the motherland is the wish of all Chinese people. Premier Li Keqiangs has outlined his pragmatic approach in his first news conference as China's #2. The low-profile bureaucrat fielded 10 questions from the media, ranging from the economy, Hong Kong, and geopolitics. Remy Yang reports.
2 days after his appointment was confirmed, Premier Li Keqiangs met the press with his 4 deputies at the end of the National People's Congress. China's new #2 staunchly defended its growth target this year of 5%, which some say is overly conservative. Citing the national output of 120 trillion yuan, Li said it's not easy to achieve a 5% expansion on such a high base figure.
绝大部分老百姓不会天天盯牢看这个 GDP.
Most people do not keep their eyes on GDP growth all the time. What they care more about are the things that happen in their everyday life, like housing, employment, income, education, medical services, and the environment.
The reporters and their questions were carefully screened, and one was from Hong Kong-based Phoenix TV. Li was asked if he agreed that Hong Kong and Macau are losing their edge in the global landscape.
香港、澳门在发展当中遇到了一些困难。
The Premier conceded the two SARs had come across difficulties in their development path, but stressed they're only temporary, and he pledged his full support to the twin cities. A journalist from Uzbekistan asked if China went too far in its COVID battle. Without mentioning the zero-COVID policy, Li said it was a remarkable achievement for China to exit a lockdown and restore economic activities in less than 2 months. Addressing Sino-US tensions, Li struck a dovish tone in line with Foreign Minister Qin Gang by declaring there is much room for cooperation. He rejected talk of a decoupling between the world's two leading economies, citing a record bilateral trade of $760 billion last year. Yeoh, HKIBC.
Chief Executive John Lee has kicked off a week of meetings in Beijing by talking to members of the Hong Kong-China Chamber of Commerce. After attending the NPC closing ceremony, Lee and the Chamber discussed the development of Hong Kong businesses on the mainland. He said he welcomed more mainland firms coming to list in Hong Kong while backing more SAR companies to go to Beijing for business. Lee added that the government supports more Hong Kong youths visiting the mainland to see the economic development. Yeoh has made history by becoming the first Asian woman to win an Oscar for Best Actress. Her victory was celebrated in Malaysia, where she was born, and Hong Kong, where she kicked off her screen career. Sachin Kadve reports.
Yeoh lived up to the title of her award-winning movie, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Having clinched the Golden Globe and Screen Actors Guild Awards last month, the Oscar was the cherry on the cake for the first Asian woman to be named Best Actress. Yeoh dedicated her Oscar to her 83-year-old mother Janet, who was watching the ceremony in the Malaysian capital Kuala Lumpur.
I'm proud of my daughter. She is a very hardworking girl.
It was such a jaw-dropping moment. I was speechless. I cried. It happened so quickly, and we are so happy that she won, that our auntie won.
Yeoh, who is 60, celebrated her win by telling women that they are never past their prime. She added that dreams do come true. Hong Kong's Culture Secretary Kevin Yang congratulated Yeoh, calling her a shining star with impressive achievements. Yeoh started a movie career in Hong Kong in the early 1980s, starring in action films. She got her big break in Hollywood in the James Bond movie Tomorrow Never Dies opposite British actor Pierce Brosnan. Yeoh also starred in award-winning movies like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon and Crazy Rich Asians. Sachin Kadve, HKIBC.
The fallout from the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank in the United States has touched Hong Kong firms, but U.S. regulators say depositors will get all their money back. This comes as HSBC bought the British unit of the U.S. bank. Azam Khan reports.
The repercussions from the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank, or SVB, has reached Hong Kong. At least 13 Hong Kong-listed tech and biotech firms have deposits totaling $217 million at the crypto bank. Beijing headquartered biotech firm Beijing has $175 million of uninsured deposits in SVB, which was taken over by US regulators over liquidity concerns. The Hong Kong Monetary Authority said SVB is not authorized to carry out operations or take deposits in the SAR. HSBC, meanwhile, went to the rescue of SVB's British arm, paying just £1 in a bid to avert a tech crisis in Britain.
What that means is that all those really important companies that had deposits with Silicon Valley Bank UK can access their deposits, can access normal banking services as of this morning. It's a very important outcome. No taxpayers' money has been used.
In another development, U.S. regulators shut down New York-based Signature Bank in a bid to prevent an all-out financial crisis after its shares sank. It's the third largest bank failure in U.S. history. Azam Khan, HKIBC.
Chinese university researchers have found that low-concentration atropine eye drops can prevent myopia in children. However, only high-risk youngsters should rely on the medication. Janice Low reports.
Children with parents who suffer from high myopia are likely to be short-sighted. But in the first study of its kind in the world, The Chinese university has found that low concentration eye drops can prevent the problem. Between 2017 and 2020, the university recruited 474 non-myopic children aged 4 to 9. At least one of their parents is short-sighted. By applying a low-concentration atropine eye drop to both eyes every night for 2 years, the researchers found that the myopia rate dropped drastically by almost 50%.
The atropine eye drop is already available on the market. It is currently prescribed by eye doctors to slow the rate of myopia progression for children. But researchers have found that the medication can also prevent myopia.
The eye drop alone cannot be relied solely to prevent myopia.
They still need their behavioral lifestyle control. That to reduce their screen time, to lengthen their reading distance, to take a break after 30 minutes, to increase their light intensity. And more importantly is to increase the outdoor time.
Yem said only children who are slightly long-sighted or whose parents are severely myopic should use the atropine eye drop. The team added that as myopia is irreversible, prevention is crucial. Janice Low, HKIBC.
Hong Kong stocks rebounded today after last week's steep losses, with the Hang Seng Index gaining 2%. Bilibili led tech shares higher, jumping 10.7%. Tencent rose 4% and Alibaba 2.6%. The Hang Seng Tech Index advanced 2.9% after falling to a one-month low. Some banking shares headed south over fears of systematic risks following the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank in the United States. HSBC edged down slightly after acquiring the U.S. lender's British division, while Bank of China lost over 1.4%. And now let's take a look at the markets. The Hang Seng Index closed up 376 points. Top 10 active stocks: Tencent up $13.20, Alibaba up $2.10, Meituan up $1.60. China Mobile up $2.85, JD.com up 30 cents, and AIA up $2.90. Forex trading against Hong Kong dollar, the euro is at 8.36, British pound at 9.47, Australian dollar at 5.20. Moving on to the UK market, the London FTSE is currently down 177 points. Michelle Yeoh's award for Best Actress stole the show at the Oscars this year. Her film Everything Everywhere All at Once also won 6 other awards as Asians stepped up to the limelight. Sachin Kadvi reports.
The show in Los Angeles opened with a message from host Jimmy Kimmel. No violence. He was referring to actor Will Smith slapping presenter Chris Rock on stage last year.
If anything unpredictable or violent happens during the ceremony, just do what you did last year. Nothing.
Ke Huy Quan, Michelle Yeoh's co-star in Everything Everywhere All at Once, won Best Supporting Actor.
My journey started on a boat. I spent a year in a refugee camp. And somehow, I ended up here on Hollywood's biggest stage.
And my mother and my father
Jamie Lee Curtis won Best Supporting Actress for her role in the same movie. Happening in a multiverse setting, the film, which deals with intergenerational conflict of an immigrant Chinese family, was also named Best Picture and picked up awards for Best Director, Best Original Screenplay, and Best Editing. Brendan Fraser, who starred in The Whale, took home the Oscar for Best Actor. The honors for Best Foreign Film went to German World War I epic All Quiet on the Western Front. But it was not all quiet on the Eastern Front. Natu Natu from the Indian movie RRR won the Oscar for the Best Original Song. Sachin Katwi, HKIBC.
On to the weather now. It will be cool tomorrow morning before becoming fine and dry later. Temperatures will range between 18 and 24 degrees. Expect sunny periods in the following days. Now let's take a look at the weather around the world.
And that's our main news for Monday night. Join us for more news at 11. I'm Chloe Feng. Good night.